everyone, it's Cindy. Cindy です。カナダトロント郊外から発信しています。このチャンネルでは日本であまりお目にかかれないような話題やニュースを中心にお届けしています。
Your predecessor, Kayleigh McEnany, has just signed on as a Fox News contributor. Wondering if you have any good wishes for her, advice, and if she does have a show, if you'd be willing to go on.
Sure. I've done Fox News Sunday twice now. I'm happy to go on a range of shows. I will say that I knew Kayleigh a little bit, not well. I met her when we were both CNN contributors, and we did a few shows. I'm not sure how many together. Like many Americans, we disagree on political issues, but we talked about our families, our spouses, sports, all sorts of things in the green room. And I certainly wish her the best in her future endeavors.
Kayleigh McEnany, who we can now officially welcome as a member of our Fox News family. We're glad to have you, Kayleigh. Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you. Good to join you, Sean.
Well, I did notice that Jen Psaki said she was asked if she had any good wishes for you, or if she... Okay, now she went on Fox News Sunday. That's on the Fox Broadcast Network. If she really wants a diversity of views, now I'll make two offers to her. She can come on with me one-on-one. Love to have her. Or I will let her debate you or discuss the issues of the day. But I guess she'll circle back with me on that, or what do you think?
Hey, I would love to see you interview the press secretary, Sean. You would have some hard-hitting questions that, man, conservatives would want to hear from. I would love to see mano a mano Sean Hannity and the press secretary. That would be a lot of fun to watch.
Well, I'd like to get an answer. Tara Reid and a woman by the name of Ms. Flores accused Joe Biden in this recent campaign of inappropriate behavior. We've seen a lot of creepy videos of Joe sniffing hair and touching and in people's face, and it was frankly bizarre. If Joe supports the investigation into Cuomo, should there be one into Joe? That's a fair question.
Yes.
No?
Kayleigh McEnany, former White House press secretary for President Trump, has been out of the spotlight for nearly 2 months. But now she is speaking out in an exclusive interview. I'm Harris Faulkner, and you are in the Faulkner Focus. Kayleigh sat down with me for her first interview since leaving the White House, and we delved into a ton of topics, both professional and very personal. I started by asking her about the January 6th U.S. Capitol riot and what it was like inside the White House on that surreal and very emotional day.
You know, I think at the beginning of the day, before everyone went to the rally, everyone was expecting peace. We'd been to hundreds of rallies. I've probably been to hundreds at this point, certainly many dozens, and they were nothing but peaceful events. And January 7th was a real day where you were just taking in the horrors that we saw. It was emotional. That morning at my house, I did a family press conference, if you will, and we put my family on speakerphone. My mom was there, my daughter was sleeping, and got my husband and my dad there, and we prayed together. And it was hard, and there were tears because that, as I said, those people do not represent the people I know and love in the Trump movement. And as I was praying, my assistant, who's an amazing woman of faith like me, sent me what is a palm card, which is your daily schedule.
Yes.
And instead of a schedule, she just had Bible verses that she had handpicked. As I was reading these Bible verses, I knew I needed to go to the podium. I knew that's what Christ would want me to do. I knew it's what, as a woman of faith, I needed to do. And my assistant was a huge part in having me have that revelation. And I went to the president, asked him if I could go to the podium. He said, absolutely. And we talked about him giving remarks, and he was totally on board and support.
The first time with him really back in action since he left office. What were your first impressions?
Everything he said strikes at the very heart, I think, of as to what made this movement pro-family, pro-worker. He changed the Republican Party forever. There's no doubt. And I recognize that early on in 2015, 2016, the ideas he was proffering were not things you often heard from Republicans on trade in particular, and on immigration, his resolute stance. And to hear him re-articulate those principles and see that energy, he's changed this party for a long time to come and in a way that's very positive.
You know, he talked about the future for really the first time substantively that we have heard since he left office. What did he say that you recognized, and what did he say that you were surprised by?
I was not surprised by anything he said, but I think one thing that needs to be said, though, is that he has grown this party in a way that I think members of the Republican Party should recognize. He got the highest percentage of the black vote of any Republican candidate running for national office in 20 years, highest percentage of the Hispanic vote of any Republican running for office in 16 years. He has made this party more inclusive, more expansive, more welcoming. And I think that Republicans on the Hill who are so quick to say President Trump doesn't have a place in this party, they need to look at the numbers and why these new voters who aren't typically Republican voters came to the party. And it's because he offered economic hope and opportunity to a lot of people who did not have that.
Why do you think he has made the decision that he's not going to start his own party?
I think he knows that for the betterment of his movement, fixing the Republican Party is the answer. Members on the Hill who say the president doesn't have a place in this party, but my message to them is let the people decide. There are 75 million incredible people, and they'll decide the way this movement goes forward.
Can he do it again?
I think he can do it again. I think, look, it's up to him whether to run in 2024. There are some incredible men and women in our party who are walking in the same kind of Trump ideology. Governor Ron DeSantis, amazing. Kristi Noem, Vice President Pence, a great man of faith that the evangelical community loves and adores, and he's a supporter of the Trump movement. When you look at the way forward, I think that you find a home in those names and certainly in President Trump.
Steve,